On Overdrive today, a comprehensive road test of the new Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450, the hottest launches from BMW India this week, and a walk through Tata Motors Design and Tech Centre in the UK. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini Dutt. Whether you're a Royal Enfield enthusiast or you're just curious about their latest motorcycle, you definitely want to sit up and take notice of the all-new Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450. Rohit was in Spain to ride this motorcycle. Here's all you need to know about it.
Of single-cylinder 400 to 500cc motorcycles, you'll usually find two extremes. On one end, you have Royal Enfield's own long-stroke engines. On the other end, you have the rev-happy KTMs and the Pulsars. So, citing a golden opportunity for a middle ground, Royal Enfield envisioned a roadster, something that you could nicely relax on and cruise, or when you're in the mood for some action, go all out with it. Enter the Guerrilla 450, named after a warfare technique of unexpected and sudden attacks. At first glance, the Guerrilla 450 boldly announces its intentions. It's here to challenge the status quo and attack the big players in the roadster segment, like the Triumph Speed 400 and Bajaj Dominar 400. You might look at the block pattern tires on this motorcycle and wonder, did they start off with a scrambler and give up halfway? Well, the funny story is, this was more of a design team's requirement. They wanted to give this bike a more rugged appearance, something that would immediately tell you it's ready for the Indian roads. While at the same time, the bodywork wanted to maintain a bit of that Himalayan character, a bit of that charm as well. So it's a mix of both, though it is a roadster. Apart from some suspension components, peripherals, the engine, and a part of the main frame that holds it in place, the rest of the Guerrilla is practically a different motorcycle. The engine claims the best-in-class torque spread and runs a smaller rear sprocket, a 45 tooth instead of a 47 for better top speed. It also rolls on a shorter wheelbase, lower ground clearance and 17-inch wheels front and rear, a 4-degree sharper rake and a 27mm shorter trail, all of which makes the Guerrilla a much sharper handler, even with those block pattern tires. The Guerrilla 450 was designed with accessibility in mind, making it both compact and user-friendly. And if you find the Himalayan too cumbersome for city use, the Guerrilla might fit you better. Now let's talk about the ergonomics. That's going to be my seating posture. So the handlebar has been dropped lower, the foot pegs have been raised, and because of the lower height of the vehicle, it doesn't feel as top heavy as the Himalayan. Seat height is lower too, at 780mm, 45mm lower than the Himalayan standard seat, though it isn't adjustable. However, the narrow subframe and the seat ensure easy ergonomics even for shorter riders. Taller riders might find the handlebar a bit narrow, its position a bit low, and the tank not supportive enough for the knees. Headlamp performance is inadequate, just like the Himalayan, and let's not forget the short side stand, which can make picking up the bike a bit of a chore for shorter riders. With all fluids topped up, the Guerrilla is only 11 kilos lighter than the Himalayan, but the shorter seating masks the weight when moving it around on the feet, and even lighter on the move thanks to excellent weight distribution and suspension tuning. It sports a smaller 11-litre tank, but Royal Enfield claims an estimated fuel economy of around 30 km to a litre in eco mode, suggesting a 300-km range. The Guerrilla's handling was fine-tuned in Spain. Engineers from Bosch and Showa frequently visited to tweak the ABS and the suspension settings respectively. The bike uses a 310mm disc up front instead of a 322 on the Himalayan, with floating calipers and sintered pads, and being road-focused, these offer a sharper braking performance than the Himalayan's softer off-road focused brakes, so no turning off the rear ABS either. The brake bite is confident and the nosedive isn't as pronounced because the suspension has lesser travel and stiffer damping. giving the Guerrilla its taut handling. And you won't really miss those upside down forks unless you want them more for those beefy looks. The swing arm is shorter too, making the bike more flickable around switchbacks. Riding around the winding roads was a blast. These tires, despite their block pattern, offer a nice progressive lean in. It's not too sharp, but not too lazy either. It's nice and progressive, imparts a lot of confidence. Of course, with the raised foot pegs, your cornering clearance is much better, but you're not going to be scraping those foot pegs often because the tires run out of their limit a lot earlier. At higher leans, they start squirming quite a bit. There's a sense of lightness to the way the Guerrilla handles, perfect for inspiring confidence in its target audience. The Guerrilla feels breezier than the Himalayan when tackling the city environment, and the new engine maps work well for zipping through traffic. And if you're going to use it primarily for that purpose, the 200 to 250 km of usable range isn't too bad. The instrumentation hooks up with Google Maps, either via the Tripper navigation module on the base model or through the TFT screen on the high variants. And I think you should be able to retrofit the latter on the base model. Its 191 kilo payload, similar to the Himalayan, will still let you head to the Himalayas with your pillion and the luggage. To sum it up, the Himalayan 450 is a great example of evolution if you compare it to the previous model. Similarly, the Guerrilla is a great example of platform sharing if you compare it to the Himalayan 450. Now, in Spanish, whatever little I've heard or know, Guerra means war. Guerrilla means little army. So will the Guerrilla 450 be just that, a little army in the massive Royal Enfield battalion? Or will it actually declare war on the entire segment, laid back, in-betweens, high-revving machines, all included? Or will it be a runaway success like the Hunter? Well, only time will tell. But whatever I can tell, I think it might just end up being an in-between, just the way the motorcycle itself is.
Well, is this a Royal Enfield motorcycle you would want to put your money on? Let us know in our comment section on our YouTube channel. We'll take a very quick break here on the show. But coming up on the other side, we take a look at all the hottest launches from BMW India's stable. Stay with us, you're watching Overdrive. Welcome back, you're watching Overdrive. Now, BMW has launched a series of luxury cars as well as an electric scooter in the country this week. Starting with the long wheelbase version of the 5 Series, priced at 72.90 lakh rupees, followed by the new Mini Cooper S 3-door priced at 44.80 lakh rupees, and the all-new Countryman EV that offers a WLTP claimed range of up to 462 kilometers. BMW's first electric scooter for the country has also launched at just 14.90 lakh rupees. Chris has all the details.
Alright guys, we are finally out here with the BMW Co4. The scooter is just launched in India and there's nothing usual about it. From the looks to the underpinnings and especially the price tag. Now this scooter has launched at 14,90,000 rupees ex-showroom India. So yes, that makes it the most expensive electric scooter that you can currently get your hands on in the country. Now I'm just going to take you through what you get for that price. So let's take it from the front. As you can see, very futuristic, stylish, outstanding looking scooter. Nice broad stance up front. That's a big 15-inch wheel you have in front. Nice chunky tires as well. You get Maxxis tires for the scooter out here. Twin disc brake setup. That's a 265mm disc. You have 4 pistons, fixed calipers. That links up to a telescopic shock up front. And coming back, you'll see the nice broad stance of the scooter. Very nice chunky feel. And coming further back to the side, you'll see that it is a maxi style scooter because you do not have the space, you do not have a lot of footroom to store anything in front of there. Now coming up here, this is one of the most unique bits about the scooter. You get a 10.25-inch TFT screen, very vibrant in its display. It can be set up for navigation. You can cast a map on there as well. And very intuitive and quite nice to look at it in general. Now coming to the switchgear, as you can see, you have the BMW rotary dial, which is a feature on big BMW motorcycles. And you even get this one out here. That's the reverse button, the menus to toggle through all the commands on the screen. And of course, you do get 3 ride modes with this particular scooter. Now you have eco, rain and road, which you can toggle through, and it alters the way the power is delivered and the way yes, the ABS and the other features kick in. Now, yes, coming to the side of the scooter, as you can see, it's one of the longest scooters you've ever come across, because just looking at that wheelbase, 1675 mm, man, that's longer than a BMW the R1300 GS. That's longer than anything we've actually seen on any scooter. So yes, it is long, and this one is heavy too, weighing in at around 231 kgs. Curb weight, man, that thing is heavy. So coming back to the seat, now as you can see, quite a long seat we have out here floating. Looks pretty neat, rather uncomfortable, but we'll save our judgment for that too actually when we have the scooter to test out on the road. Now, in terms of seating, yep, you do get to feel the weight on the scooter as well. You have two foot positions, the normal for city usage, and if you're cruising out on the highway, well, you can get into a rather more comfy stance. Now, in terms of the battery, the battery fits under the footboard, and you have a nice big 8.9 kilowatt hour battery. Yes, it has been borrowed from the other BMW cars that we already seen in the country, but right here you only have just one 8.9 kilowatt hour unit that's linked up to the motor. That's a 15 kilowatt hour peak power motor, I believe, and yes, it makes a total of 42 PS of max power and 62 Nm of max torque. So in true EV tradition, it should be real hoot out on the road when you access all the right commands and functions. Coming further back, now this is one of the more unique things about the scooter, because it is, as you can see, clearly a belt-driven scooter. That is the offset monoshock. Very unique bit, coming down to a very different style. We have seen something like this on the Royal Enfield motorcycles, because this is an integrated turn indicator and the tail light. Coming to this side of the wheel, as you can see, it is a single-sided swing arm. That is the disc kind of the wheel that this scooter has. Nice chunky Maxxis tires, and here you can see where the motor is placed. Now, another very unique thing about the scooter is the storage space, because this isn't your conventional electric scooter, as you may have already guessed. That is the storage area that you have to work with. That is the charger, the standard charger that fits in there. It comes with a 2.3 kilowatt hour charger. It should take you around 4.5 hours to charge from 0 to 100 top up. 0 to 80 will take around 3.5 hours, I believe. And you can up the game with an additional fast charger that should charge the entire scooter from 0 to 80. It's set to be in around 1.5 hours. So that's pretty interesting. Overall, this scooter is supposed to give you a range of 130 kilometers. So not one of the best we've seen, but yes, it is what it is, and that's what you have to work with in terms of the design and the storage space. Not too sure if a full face helmet will fit in there, because yeah, a half face helmet for sure, but then the more fancier helmets you have as far as AGV, shoeies and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that's really good to fit in there. That's your glove box, and it fits in all your stuff, and it is a ventilated glove box. There is a fan in there to cool your phone while it's actually charging, and that's pretty neat and nifty. And out here is your charging socket, as I mentioned before. Pretty neat once again.
Well, we are eagerly waiting to get our hands on this electric scooter. Do send us your queries and we'll answer them for you on our ride test. We'll take a very quick break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, Kranti Sambhav takes a walk through Tata Motors Design and Tech Centre in UK. Stay with us, you're watching Overdrive. Welcome back, you're watching Overdrive. Now, as we count down to the launch of the Tata Coupe Curve SUV, Kranti Sambhav was invited to Tata Motors Design and Tech Centre in UK to understand the intricacies of the car design process, and also got a chance to see the production-ready model of the Curve in its ICE as well as electric avatar. Here's that story.
We are at Tata Motors Design and Tech Centre in Coventry, UK, and in this video we are going to follow the design process of any car. And right now the example or car in this case is Curve, which is upcoming coupe SUV from Tata Motors. And as far as designing of any car is concerned, we know it starts with sketches which are done by hand, and then it goes on computer, and most of us have seen that process. But this trip and this tour is actually special because we are going to see the details of any design process after that drawing board process is done. For example, the CAD or the final project which is done by the designers, it is sent to this milling machine which is automatic, and they just feed the design and it designs or makes this clay model, scaled down version of curve in this case. And if the designers are happy with the proportions, if they think that this is looking okay and all the design elements are coming together nicely, then they take it to the next level. Otherwise, they'll give some feedback and then make some changes and create another one. And since this is automatic, they can actually feed it, leave it overnight, and the morning is a new clay model ready. Next step would be the one which we have seen in many cases. This is the clay model of curve right now, and half body is painted just for our benefit, and the second half is again, this is the clay model of curve. And if you can see all these dots, what do they do? So this is basically the combination or cooperation between humans and the tech part, because these dots are used to scan the body, the surface, are they even or not. And then there's a scanner here. You can see this scanner which has this blue light, and you can look at those two dots. So this scanner basically sends back the signal, scans the car, and sends the information about the surface to the CAD again, and then it is used to optimize the surface again, and then they send back the design, and this is changed again. So this is like, you know, back and forth process where they want to achieve the best result, best elements, or best surface finish. The third version is there. This one is the aero model, which is put in the wind tunnel for testing the aerodynamics of the car, and these tapes are basically removed at that time, but right now for showcasing purpose, these tapes are put in. Since this process is already done for curve, so I guess just for us, this display was used here. And next level is the SRM. This is in our language maybe the master copy of the product, because this is the reference point for, you know, manufacturing of dies. The size of the panel, the finish, the gaps, each and every detail is basically based on this final model, which is called the SRM, and the parts and dies are manufactured based on that. And in case you think that there's something which is missing, or you want to reference it back to the master copy, you come back to this SRM. So this is how the story of designing basically goes from mind, paper, to computer, to clay, and then the SRM, and then the products which we saw in Bharat Mobility Expo, the production versions of Tata Curve. So the thing is that these two displays, one is this and one on my left, these two displays are very unique and special displays, because Tata Motors has brought us to showcase their design journey. And this, you might not believe, but this is a clay model. Look at the finish, look at the paint scheme, look at the elements, everything is so fine and precise, just like a proper production ready car. And this is a clay model, and only giveaway I would say is the opaque glasses. Otherwise, you'll get to know that this is clay model only when you actually knock on this. This doesn't feel like metal, so this is made up of clay. And why did Tata Motors designers wanted us to see this? Because this is the final version or final design which was approved by the management and designers. Thing is that when they start designing the cars from sketchboard to the clay model, there are too many inputs, modifications, feedback, and they incorporate them in all their different models. And these clay models, they almost go through 40 different transformations within a year, and then they reach at some kind of final shape, and this is what we have seen in this. And this one, the display, is the EV version. And there are two main difference between EV and ICE. One is obviously you can see the aerodynamically design these wheel caps or wheel designs or alloy design, which you see in EVs mostly, and then the front, again resembling the typical Tata family cars. Front has I know that there is no front grille, but they have a charging port. Even the bumper is different in this car. Now we move to the ICE version, and if you look at the difference, look at this front grille, which is different in this ICE version curve, and look at the design of the alloys. And this one is the AMC model, which is basically a composite material made up of maybe hardened foam or something, and this is designed from inside. Now you can see the basic structure of the interiors. Still, you can't open this, so they start building it from inside. Then they put the exterior or outer parts. But as you know, the unique or the USP of this curve is the sloping roof, because it's a coupe style compact SUV, which is coming in the Creta Seltos segment. We are going to see the launch of these two cars in EV and ICE version on the 7th of August.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this week's edition of Overdrive. But remember, you can stay in touch with the team through our various social media platforms, and do leave us a comment on our YouTube channel as well. We'll see you next week. Until then, goodbye. Many thanks for watching. Drive and ride safe.